We're going to start posting each podcast episode that you see on YouTube a week earlier on Patreon. So feel free to join for early access to all episodes. Plus, we're going to start doing bonus podcast episodes every week. So if you want to join Patreon, it's patreon.com/concrete videos. Feel free to go check it out or just get it a week late here on YouTube. Hello, Woiled. On this episode of the podcast, we're joined again by Matthew B. Cox, and on this one, we go deep into the story of a man by the name of Frank Amodeo. For those of you who don't already know, Frank Amodeo is a megalomaniac hell-bent on world domination. He's also the founder of Mirabilis Ventures, a conglomerate of over 70 companies in various industries, including consulting, corporate security, manufacturing, employee leasing, and hotel ownership, with over 40,000 employees and nearly $1 billion in annual revenue. The story of Frank Amodeo is part Tom Clancy, part Ian Fleming novel, and 100% insanity. Since childhood, Frank claims to have been hearing voices in his head telling him that he was meant to be emperor of the world. He's absolutely certifiably mentally ill. Specifically, he suffers from bipolar disorder. Frank is a unique high-functioning, sub-classification, rapid cycling, axis 1 bipolar with narcissistic, antisocial, psychotic features. Simply put, his mood shifts constantly between manic and depressive episodes, during which delusions of manic themes occur. That being said, Frank is a highly successful attorney who managed to continue his law practice from behind bars, and in fact, he was even able to knock 12 years off Matthew Cox's prison sentence. On this podcast, Matt explains every detail from how Frank was about to purchase a fleet of F-16 fighter jets for $60 million to how he almost took over the Congo in 2006. That's the hook. Please enjoy this podcast with Matthew Cox. Welcoming the crowd favorite, Matthew B. Cox. Good evening, Matt. Thanks for coming back to the show. Look what we got you today. Some studio pins. So, Matt.
Artsy.
What are we going to talk about today? What is the title of your new book?
All right. I'm glad you asked. It's insanity. The bizarre story of a bipolar megalomaniac's insane plan for total world domination. I think I went a little overboard on the subtitle, but no, it's perfect. I know it is.
You could do more.
Describes
Honestly, very well.
You think I could have written a small paragraph.
So this is one of your most popular stories. It's a fan favorite about the one and only Frank Amodeo, the bipolar, schizophrenic, sociopath, megalomaniac. With
Through sociopath. You said sociopath.
Oh, okay.
You're gonna
what's the actual title for him?
He is a rapid cycling. He's an Axis 1 rapid cycling bipolar with features of schizophrenia.
And how did you first meet this guy?
He came into the prison, I don't know when it was, 2009 or 9? Yeah, 2009 or 10. Yeah, 2009 in the low, and he was all drugged up for like a year or so. Took him like a year to convince the staff to take him off of the psychotropic, whatever, the meds.
Yeah.
And they took him off the meds, which helped him kind of clear up his thinking, and he started fighting his case. Of course, by the time they took him off his meds, he was time barred from actually being able to fight his conviction, because you only have 1 year. So by the time they take him off the meds and he's able to actually kind of comprehend what's going on, it's been past a year, and it's too late to start fighting your case. You only have a year. So anyway, he ends up fighting. He ends up fighting a ton of other inmates' cases, and my case is one of the cases that he fought.
He was like the go-to lawyer for all the inmates at Coleman.
Yeah, he was a real trained lawyer. He's a real lawyer.
Is he a good lawyer?
He's an amazing lawyer. I'm serious. What do you mean?
How much time did he get you knocked off?
12 years. That they didn't want to give me. That they absolutely didn't want to give me. And I talked to multiple lawyers on the street that said, you don't have a shot. There's nothing you can do. And yet he managed to get file 22255s, get the court to appoint me 2 attorneys. Both attorneys flew down and said, what are you doing? You know, and they were like, oh, you wrote this motion, but you need to take the police. You need to take what
Who
they're
else's
offering.
case did he work that he got a bunch of time off of?
A ton of guys. I mean, like, I got a list of guys in the book.
What about Deveroli?
No, Deveroli, no.
No?
No, Deveroli got 6 years. He got 2 4-year terms.
Okay.
And it was actually part of it
Deveroli,
was
for people listening who don't know who he is, he's the guy that the movie War Dogs is based off of.
War Dogs.
Jonah Hill.
Jonah Hill.
Yeah.
Jonah Hill made Deveroli look
And
soft
you
cuddly.
were hanging out with him in prison.
Yes, I wrote a memoir I wrote Deveroli's memoir, which is called Once a Gun Runner.
And we're talking to him. He might come on the show. He might be a guest soon.
He may.
He's scared. He's scared of being in the limelight.
He is.
He doesn't want
Does
to.
he laugh like Jonah Hill does in that movie? Did you met him?
Yeah, he spent
I-
years
I-
with him.
I'll bet you I spent 100 hours with
Does he
Deveroli.
laugh like that?
Never showed up on time. Not one time did he ever show up. Never. You couldn't let him walk off for like, hey, I'll be back in 20 minutes. Never see him again. Got to go hunt him down. He'd turn around. You'd walk in his cell and turn around and look at you. He'd go, oh shit, oh, and then he'd, all right, I'm coming. Did he? I don't know. He doesn't. I don't remember how Jonah Hill laughed, but Deveroli
He had
laughs.
that real high pitched laugh. It was like really weird and
No, Deveroli laughs like just like in your face, like. I mean, just like he's crazy. It's great.
What are his conditions? Does he have any of these conditions that the emperor has?
He's bipolar.
He's
for sure.
bipolar?
Bipolar, narcissistic, arrogant. Pretty much same stuff I had. But
So how long have you been working on this book about Frank Amodeo, the emperor?
I've been writing.
And why do you call him the emperor?
All right,
the
can I give you? You want me to give
self-proclaimed
this?
emperor, no?
You told me.
I want to know. I want to know
why.
why everyone calls him the emperor.
Because since he has been in his teens, he has believed that he's hearing the voice of God tell him he is preordained to be emperor of the world. Now, lots of people think that. Lots of people say that, right? Not lots of people. What am I saying? Lots of people. Lots of homeless people say that. Like crazy people say that. The difference is, he graduates high school. He goes on to college. He ends up getting a law degree. He becomes a venture capitalist. According to the IRS, he has over 70, or not IRS, this is the FBI. According to the FBI, he has over 70 companies. He committed a major fraud, and he was hiring, they said he has hired retired FBI agents, IRS agents, and Secret Service agents to work for him. He had several small Blackwater style companies. He puts this whole thing together, and his whole purpose for building this whole conglomerate is to ultimately take over the world. He tried to buy fighter jets. I got pictures of him with the fighter jets. I've got, look, it's not just that, bro.
Jesus Christ!
Look at this.
This dude's gnarly.
I'm looking at pictures of this goofy fat man, Frank Amodeo, standing next to a fighter jet with his foot up on the ladder like he's posing next to a fucking sports car.
And one of the other CEOs of his company is the guy that's sitting in the cockpit. They fly in. I talk about it. They fly in like two airplanes. I forget what that was, an F-18 or F-22 or something. They fly him in, but he's actually trying to buy a squadron, like 24 F-14s and F-15s.
How much are those planes?
I don't know. The total purchase was like 60. Okay, we're not going to answer that. The total purchase of the planes was $60 million. So I don't know what a used F-15 goes for,
Right.
but if it's 30 years old, and that the technology is 30-year-old technology, but they're still flying them all over the Middle East and in Africa, and all over Europe. They're still, Israel's still flying F-15s, F-16s. He's trying to buy F-14s and F-15s.
Did Frank Amodeo give you permission to publish this book about him?
Yeah, he did. I mean, he participated in the writing of the book. He participated in the writing of.
Does he know you
synopsis.
published it?
I don't know if he knows. I don't know if he knows I published it.
So you think it's better to ask? It's just that it's like ask for forgiveness instead of for permission type deal with the book.
I don't need permission.
Oh, you don't need his permission to publish it
How do I need a permission? You participated. You knew I was
because it's
writing
about
a book.
him, right?
I was writing a book. You gave me permission. You knew I was writing a book about it. You participated. If you talk to a reporter and suddenly 2 weeks later there's an article about you talking to the reporter, are you going to say it's freedom of speech?
Yeah, but I just feel like it'd be so scary to, you said how good of a fucking lawyer he is. He got 12 years off your sentence. Like, don't fuck with a guy that's that good of a lawyer because,
my God, listen.
I don't know. It just seems like a sketchy
look,
thing to do. It seems like, hey,
understand.
maybe that could be a concern.
I feel pretty confident about the Constitution of the United States giving me permission, though.
Yeah.
Pretty sure.
Okay.
So if you were in public and you videoed two guys getting into a fight, and you put it on YouTube, are you allowed to do that?
Yeah, you are.
You are, right. He actively
put you on the news.
participated
buddy.
in the book. I mean, told me, gave me all of this information. He gave me all this.
What is all this information you have over here? What is all this paperwork?
I mean, this is FBI. This is an FBI 302. Talks about his companies. Talks about how he's hiring all these guys. Let's see. What is this? What is this? I don't know, man. I didn't really have time. Oh, these are articles about the Congo where he was when he tried to pull off a political coup in the Congo by backing a political candidate. This is an article in the Herald Tribune. This is one from the New York Times.
Wow.
This
the
is
New York Times.
This is one from World
Matt,
News.
you made it now.
NBC. This is. Oh, listen to this. So I looked up private military.
2006, this New York Times article was from. 32 charged in coup plot being sent home. Congo said it was deporting 32 foreigners, including 3 Americans that it charged last week with planning a coup before national elections in July.
Can you read it like Michael Barbaro,
Who's Michael Barbaro?
the guy from the Daily?
Oh,
That is.
no, I can't do that. I'm not even going to try to do that. A coup before national elections in July, saying it would have taken too long to prosecute them. Officials said the men, who also included 10 Nigerians, 19 South Africans, worked as security guards and were found with weapons. The Americans' employer, AQMI Strategy Corp of Orlando, Florida.
Acme. That's his company. Acme.
Acme Strategy Corp of Orlando, Florida, said they were providing security and campaign counseling for a candidate in the elections and were not carrying any weapons. A United Nations spokesman of Kinshasa, the capital, is that the capital of the Congo?
Mm-hmm.
Has said the organization believes the arrests are an attempt at political manipulation before the elections.
All right. So
Interesting.
you can see that Acme Corporation.
Yep, that's his company.
Frank Amodeo.
Okay.
It was actually called Acme Corporation.
Acme, but spelled AQMI. Q.
All
Does he know
fancy.
Q?
Is he in Q?
Is he QAnon?
So
That's a sign.
So
anybody
I looked
is
up
Q, it's
private
him.
military companies, right? Like Dynotech and Blackwater and all those, right?
Yeah.
So right here, and this is this guy from Blackwater, the chairman of Blackwater, and this is everything. This is his company right here, is Acme Strategy Corp. That's Frank's company.
Wow.
Same company. So, I mean, so he had a bunch of. Anyway, look, the point is that he was a lawyer. He actually was disbarred. What's wrong?
Nothing.
Yeah, what the fuck?
I don't know what's the deal. I don't know what the deal. What's going on?
Nothing. I was just looking at him. I can hear him mouth breathing from here.
I mean, I really only do like a short half chapter or a chapter on his childhood, him becoming. They tried to be. The CIA tried to recruit him. Did I tell you I interviewed a guy from the CIA? Yeah, I tried to get you to call him and bring him on the podcast.
Oh,
the CIA guy.
Yep, I remember him.
So I interviewed a CIA guy all about his
Really?
Oh, it's great.
What did the CIA guy have to say?
The guy was basically saying, because Amodeo said when he was about to graduate law school, the CIA came to him, and they were basically in the law school in Emory, and they were asking lawyers or about to be lawyers, that they were asking them to fill out, to take tests to see if they wanted to be a CIA agent. He took it, and they came back and they said, look, we want to offer you a job. They offered him a job, but before Amodeo graduated, his father came down with esophagus cancer, like throat cancer, and so he couldn't do it. He had to stay and take care of his father. So he never ended up doing it. He ended up getting a law degree. He became a bankruptcy attorney. He eventually ended up losing his license. Look, he's bipolar.
Yeah.
So he has he'll be kicking ass for 8 months or a year.
Yeah.
Go into a deep, deep depression for 4 or 5 days or a week and can't even get out of bed.
Really?
And the thing is, he's also, this is ridiculous. It's going to sound silly. He's hypersensitive to caffeine. So I would sit there and you're talking to him. He would drink a 6-pack of Coke. I probably drank 40 or 50 Cokes a day or Pepsis a day in prison. He's constantly drinking them. to try and elevate himself so that he didn't slip into a depression, like a mood stabilizer. So,
Yeah, but isn't that like the opposite of a mood stabilizer? Because you're just going to be fucking jacked on sugar, and then
mean,
you're just going to crash.
I mean, maybe, but the fact is he's bipolar, so who knows? He's up there. You understand? Look, I'm going to give you an example of what it's like being around him.
Maybe he's just like trying to fight through the depression part with the sugar.
Right, so he can feel it coming on, so he drinks 4 or 5 of these things, and it kicks him back up.
Okay.
So literally, like, the guy's brilliant, right? He's doing all this legal work in prison, but I'm just going to give you an example of what it's like being around him.
Okay.
Just so that you understand that. So we're all sitting at Stonehenge, which was this area in Coleman. We called it Stonehenge. We're all sitting around a concrete picnic table, talking about law work.
Talking to your mic.
Sorry,
Your mic.
talking about law work.
Yeah.
And suddenly, me, Pete, Donovan, Frank's there. They're all talking about law work, and I'm just sitting there, listening. And Donovan says something, and all of a sudden Frank goes, No, that's not going to stand. Absolutely not. No, I'm not going to let that happen. When my legions march on Washington, we will burn the Constitution, and the president will bow it at my feet. And he sits there for a second, and nobody says shit. Everybody just sits there, and he goes, okay, we need to do a Johnson motion. So I'm going to need a 2255 form. And okay, Frank, I'll get you the 25. Oh, wait, Frank, do you need to? Yeah, there's some. Go ask Thomas in B3. Okay, I'll go right now and take it. And you walk off.
And it never happened.
Right, and nobody says shit. Okay. It's just a momentary lapse of insanity.
So that's like a tick for him.
A tick? I mean, I don't know what a tick is. He's fucking crazy.
It's
he just
people with Tourette's. So sometimes they freak out and they start cussing and spitting at people. Like all of a sudden,
he might have a spike. He might also be in that manic mode for 30 minutes where he's talking about. I mean, I've seen him tell drug dealers he's gonna fucking chop off the heads of all their like associates, and he's gonna anthrax their entire village. And I mean, I had that one of the scene in the book where the guy's like, "Village, Frank, I'm from Palm Beach," and he goes, "Well, Palm Beach then." and you're like,
he's gonna anthrax Palm Beach.
I mean, he just and what's so funny is
that's a clip.
The stuff that happens in prison. What happened on the street is more insane because he's literally trying to buy airplanes. He is actively trying to take over other countries. He steals nearly $200 million from the federal government. And this isn't me saying this. This is I've got the reports. There's news. You can look up Frank Amodeo, Frank Amodeo fraud, and it comes right up.
200 million.
Nearly 200 million. They always say nearly because they start adding shit in. Really, it was about $182 million. I mean, as if that really matters. I'm just saying, once they start adding in all the fees and everything else,
Right,
they always say always say nearly 200 million. Regardless, it was $182 million is what his restitution is.
I'd vote for him. Can he run for president, even though he was in?
Sure,
You could write him in.
He could run for president, even though he was in prison.
Absolutely.
Wow,
Emperor.
I'd vote for him.
Emperor.
Listen,
Do you think he'd let me and Luke be his campaign managers?
I would love to do his advertising.
Listen, I don't. A guy that thinks he's going to be emperor of the world. I'm not sure how much he's going to scrutinize anybody that supports him. But
if you're emperor, though, you need like somebody who's in charge of propaganda. I would love to take that on.
Hell yeah.
I would. Me too.
Wouldn't that be fun?
We could do that.
That'd be awesome.
We could come up with the strongest campaign slogan for him, and
I'm telling you, Emperor
sickest
Amodeo
graphics.
for Emperor 2024.
Yeah.
Forever.
Forever.
This is good stuff. I think I showed you. Didn't I show you some of these? These are fucking awesome.
What are you looking at? Pictures of him right now?
No.
So what's?
Yeah, it's amazing.
Come on, bro.
Yeah. That's amazing.
Look at that. What are you looking at right now? Describe it for me, Luke.
This looks like the best YouTube thumbnail I've ever seen. He's cut out in Photoshop with a 5-pixel white stroke around him. He's crossing his arms like he's filming an HLN reality show. He's in the desert. There's missiles firing in the background. Amodeo for Emperor. Quote, "I will anthrax your entire village."
Nice.
And then also signed off, quoted Frank Amodeo.
I fucking love that.
I got the
strong.
fist. I got the fist
bulletproof.
with it where it says Amodeo for Emperor. It's got the fists.
That'd make a strong yard sign too.
Oh yeah.
Ooh.
That should be the thumbnail for the podcast. Honestly.
So what the fuck's his deal? He started out in his 20s going to law school, right? He wanted to become a lawyer.
Yeah. Yeah, dude, you got it.
Good stuff.
And when did he fly off the rails? I mean, he's in law school. He couldn't go to the CIA because his dad got cancer. He had to take care of his dad.
Right.
At what point does this all start to go sideways?
Well, he ends up working for Hyatt Legal Services, which is like a bankruptcy firm. It's, you know what it is? It's kind of like it's like the people that do your taxes, right? Like what is it? Centric? Who does your taxes? What's
Like
one of
H&R Block?
Like H&R Block, but it's for bankruptcy. It was a company that started off. They were trying to do it. They had them all over the place. He goes in. He starts running the company, and he's doing great. And he ends up marrying this woman by the name of Claire, and so they get married. And he said that basically he's like, I tried to suppress my knowledge, and this is the thing. He always talked about it. Like Claire's always known about it, and even in high school, he said that everybody knew about it, and it was kind of like they just like laughed it off. He was kind of a quirky little thing. Was he? Well, when I'm emperor, and they'd be like, emperor, and he was, whoa, I'm going to be emperor of the world, and they'd be like, oh, okay, Frank, and they kind of laugh it off. Of course, you're a teenager; it's funny, but you're also brilliant. They're going to let it go, but it doesn't. It never subsides. It's a continuing thing. And people kind of accept it as being, if you're kind of quirky and there's something weird about you, a little odd about you, but it's also kind of funny, you're going to let it go because I like you, right? So you're going to let it go. Well, it progresses. He ends up, meets Claire, they get married, he tries to be a normal citizen, he eventually drops into a depression, goes into the hospital, comes out, and this is back in the 80s and 90s, and nobody's really thinking depression. Mm-hmm. Like they're not really, what's wrong with him? He won't get out of bed. He's sick. He's tired. He's lethargic.
Yeah.
What?
Stream's crashed.
Give it a second. All right. That's all right. We can keep rolling. Just keep rolling.
So, yeah. So he
as long as it's still recording.
Yeah, we are.
All right.
What ends up happening. Okay. I'm trying to think of where this one is. Okay. So what ends up happening is he ends up getting in trouble because, according to Amodeo, I'm not sure that the...
So wait, where did all these notions of being emperor of the world come from? Like that didn't just come out of thin air. Where do you think he got that from?
No, I
do you think he was reading some science fiction books when he was a kid? And like,
well, I mean, he was a big fan of Star Trek, but I don't know that
he was?
Yeah. But I mean, so was I. I don't think I'm taking over the world. I think he's bipolar with features of schizophrenia. I think
but he had to have gotten that whole emperor story from somewhere.
Not necessarily. A lot of bipolars or people with schizophrenia. He's not schizophrenic. If he was schizophrenic, he wouldn't even be functional.
Right.
He just has aspects of it. So I don't know where that came from. I don't know if it's just a prolonged florid delusion that has continued his whole life, which is essentially what the psychiatrists are saying. Yeah. Because I actually have his the evaluation of capacity from the government right here, where it's got all the these are all the doctors and psychiatrists that actually look here. Here's the Emperor of the World right here, Frank Amodeo. This is from the federal government ordered that report, and he had to be interviewed by several psychiatrists, and there's quotes in there taken from Frank and taken from the psychiatrists, if that makes sense. Talking about how since he was a child, he's believed this, it's been a constant. So eventually what ends up happening is he ends up getting in trouble, and he goes to jail. He actually, listen, he's supposed to get 24 months probation. What?
People are saying PayPals are sent.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
PayPals are sent?
People are paying.
I mean, if people are paying, you got to put your address.
What did they pay for? Who paid for what?
You got to be able to get
Did you
in
get a
touch with you.
notification?
I mean, I got something. I just saw something light up.
Check your phone.
I got $1.99.
$1.99. Who sent you that?
This is a guy I know. He's Anyway, he said for coffee.
All right.
So what happens is I don't even know where I was.
Neither do I. Oh, the psychiatrist.
Oh,
The
yeah.
psychiatrist report. He was one of the psychiatrists.
Yeah, that was a psychiatrist report. But he gets in trouble. He eventually gets in trouble. And listen, he's supposed to get 24. When this whole
What did he get in
thing-
trouble for?
The whole company, basically, he went and started his own bankruptcy company.
Okay.
So he takes on a ton of, he's got a few partners, takes on some partners, takes on a ton of clients, and he ends up going into depression. They hospitalize him. By the time he gets out of the hospital and goes back to work, it's been weeks, maybe a month, or I think it's been over a month or so. And basically his partners couldn't handle the volume. And there are all these complaints, and he ends up getting disbarred because he doesn't even show up for the trial. And what happens is money that had been collected by them had been, he says that he wasn't in charge of the account and they had used the money for bills or whatever. Basically, it was commingling of funds, and several people lost money, and he ended up getting disbarred. Now, I don't know what the police report says. Police report basically says that there was money placed into an account and that he essentially used the money to pay bills, and that he was part of the whole thing and understood it. And then when he got sick, it caught up with him, whatever. My point is, Nancy Grace. You don't know who Nancy Grace is?
No.
Yes.
Fuck Nancy Grace.
Nancy
hate
Grace.
Nancy.
Nancy
Fuck
Grace.
Nancy
Fuck is
Grace.
it?
Oh man.
Nancy Grace was the prosecutor. She couldn't prosecute him, so she ended up giving it to the U.S. attorney. Nancy Grace she's got her own CNN show where she's like a 50-year-old white chick with blonde hair.
She's like Alex Jones, but a lady.
Really angry.
Really?
Oh, vicious. So she can't prosecute him, but she hands it over to the U.S.
She
attorney.
Democrat or Republican?
I have no idea. Oh, I'm sure she's got to be what?
She's mad.
She's just angry. She's an angry woman.
I don't know
gotta
what
be a
she is. She's just
Republican.
mad.
She's on CNN.
So she ends up handing it to the U.S. attorney. U.S. attorney
Can't be
indicts him.
Republican.
He's supposed to get 24 months. When they go to interview several people,
Yeah.
they interview his wife, and his wife says he's got to go to jail. She goes, you can't give him 24 months probation. She goes, he'll never learn his lesson. He's got to go to jail.
Wow.
So they say, well, you're going to jail. So they send him to what's called shock boot camp. They used to have this boot camp, and you go there for like 9 months or something. They let you out. So he goes there for 9 months, and when he gets out, this is in the middle of the Soviet Union has fallen apart. This is probably around 2000 something, and he ends up starting a company called Mirabilis that is based on a thesis that he had written, which is called Capital Genesis. Mm-hmm. Capital Genesis is his plan for world domination, and if you actually listen to him explain the whole thing, it's essentially Spectre from like James Bond. It's a whole slew of these companies. It's great because what the CIA agent in the book breaks it all down. It's all, and so does Amodeo. He's like, it's Spectre. It's all of these companies that feed off of one another. So we all own these companies, and we all give each other favorable contracts so that we can grow bigger and bigger, and we have a shared agenda, and we're going to buy up all these other companies and just continue to grow and grow and grow. And we all have a shared goal. And he said the same concept is being used right now in the
kind of like his own little government.
right. And ultimately, he'll be able to spread throughout the entire.
What's so funny?
Kyle Roberts said Nancy Grace titty popped out on Dancing with the Stars, and that thing looked like a burnt salami.
Fuck. We need to get Kyle Roberts live in here.
Yeah. Anyway, he ends up getting out. He starts this company. He starts buying up.
So he owns all these companies that are all serving each other.
He goes in. He buys these companies that are failing. So he goes in and he buys the company. He either bankrupts it,
Yeah.
or he might put it into bankruptcy and restructure the company, or maybe he bankrupts it completely, pays off the debtors, or or maybe he restructures it and turns it around. But he's able to use the bankruptcy laws to his advantage. Mm-hmm. So as the companies grow and grow, and this is what's interesting. There are transcripts where, look, he's always said, like, people that came to work for him, they always know. Like, if you're a CPA, they let him know. He lets them know, I have a condition. I'm bipolar. Like, everybody knows. All the lawyers that work for him know. The CPAs know. Everybody knows. They even bring in a psychiatrist to basically monitor his behavior. And he's buying these companies, he's bankrupting them, he's growing and growing. He ends up buying a bunch of military-style companies. Like, he buys a military company that does they build portable satellites for the military. Mm-hmm. He ends up starting several small, like, Blackwater-style companies. And I end up, in the book, I explain that there's like 3 of them, and basically it's called tactical. So I name them all tactical. They all have different names, like tactical strategy, such and such tactical. So they're all basically tactical. Tactical ends up getting a bunch of contracts in Afghanistan, where they protect convoys of food. They protect diplomats, that sort of thing.
His company is?
His company.
Wow.
So,
and he's getting paid by the government?
yeah. Oh, listen, they also do what black bag operations are. The CIA guy goes all
What's
into
a black bag operation?
Basically, look. So you're a Russian hacker. Okay, you're like a Russian hacker. We have you indicted, but we can't go into Russia and get you. But then you end up going into let's say you end up going into whatever, you go to Brazil or something, or you go to Norway on vacation.
Right.
So still, we can't go in there and kidnap somebody else. But what happens is the State Department says, or the FBI or CIA, whoever, they say, look, this guy is going to be in Norway. He's a Russian citizen. He's a hacker. We have him indicted. If he shows up on U.S. soil, there's a $200,000 check waiting for you. So what do they go in? They watch him for a week, and then they hit him with a fucking taser, put a bag over his head, throw him in the back of the van, drive him to guy's got 2 planes.
Bounty.
They throw him in there, fly him back here. They call the FBI and say, hey, yeah, Ivan, Krachkanask is here at the fucking airport. Come pick him up. They come pick him up and say, there you go.
Really?
I've seen a lot. This happens all the time in South America. You know how many South Americans that I've met from...
So this was Amadeo's business, was black bagging people?
One of the businesses that his company was in charge of.
His umbrella company was in charge of this business that did this.
Yes, one of them. And you know who the person in charge of these his little private military or private you wouldn't call it a private military. Their private security company was a guy that was a retired Secret Service agent. He's all over. His name's Kevin Billings. If you punch in Kevin Billings, he's all over. He right now he runs a security company. He's a security consultant. Another guy named Joe Robinson, who used to work for Buddy Dyer.
Wait, this Billings guy? What's his name? Kevin Billings.
Kevin Billings. He also
ran
Amadeo's security company.
Okay.
Companies, yeah. So these guys are running the company. He's also one of the guys that gets arrested in the Congo. Remember the guys. Eventually, what happens is Amodeo he decides, look, he's got enough. He starts withhold. Here's what happens. In order to fund this insane plan for world domination, he's trying to buy planes and do all these things. Like I said, the planes are like $60 million, right? So it's $60 million purchase. So he's looking at planes. He's negotiating with the Cypriots to keep the planes there. He's already got Russians. You can't buy an F-14 or an F-15 fully armed. They basically call them declawing it. They strip all the guts out of it, right? So you can't buy it with missiles or even the missile equipment. But if you fly it over,
declaw the bird.
But if you fly it over to Cyprus,
they can rebuild it.
The Russians will come in, or
Holy
Ukrainians
shit.
will come in, and they'll re-put everything back in for you. Now I got fully functional shit. So that's what he's trying to do, and he's negotiating with the Cypriots. But he needs money. You can't just take over the world. Not that I think I know it's insane. Not that I think it's true that you could do it, but he thinks you can do it. Even the CIA guy was like, you can't take over the world. It would take generations to be able to pull it off. He's like, but he goes, the CIA guy said, I've never seen someone as capable and functioning, high functioning as Amodeo that believed it was possible. So what happens is he's trying to buy the planes. He's trying to do all these things. He's negotiating, but you need money to do that, right? He's got a ton of companies, but one of the ways he figures out, how do I get the money to buy to do all this stuff? Well, here's what happens is, you understand payroll. Let's say your paycheck is going to be $1,000 this week.
Okay.
So the company is going to send, you're going to get $1,000. They're going to withhold $200, right, for the IRS. So who sends that money to the IRS?
1,000 and probably more like 500.
Okay, let's say it's 300. So you're supposed to get, so that means the company keeps $300, right?
Right.
They keep $300 from me, $300 from you, $300. He's got 40,000 employees paying $300 that's supposed to go to the IRS. What does he do? He stops sending it to the IRS.
No.
And that's why it slowly grows and grows until it's almost $200 million. And he's using the money to buy planes, to buy all kinds of stuff.
Wow.
He's doing just Good stuff, right? And here's the
Hell
thing.
yeah.
Capable.
Here's how you do that, by the way, which is legal. I have a company. All I have to do is report to the IRS. Hey, IRS, we owe you $120,000 this week. We have the money, but we're not sending it to you right now. We're holding it because we're considering going into bankruptcy, or we're going into bankruptcy, and you're just a debtor. So I'm holding the money. We don't have the money to send you, but we do owe it to you. Just like if you're of any vendor that I owe money. We bought a bunch of equipment. We're making payments to you. Guess what? We can't make the payment this month, but we know we owe it to you, and you may be included in our bankruptcy.
Right. Okay.
You can't come get your shit.
Right.
The IRS can't do anything. They go, okay, well, just keep us posted.
Yeah.
And so he negotiates with them. Eventually, a lot of the companies, he might owe $1 million, $2 million. He goes into the IRS under the bankruptcy and says, look, we're either going to bankrupt it and you're going to get virtually nothing, or let us get on a payment plan, accept less than the $1 million or $2 million we owe you, accept $300,000 and we'll pay you off over the next year. And they go,
All right.
I mean, it's that or nothing.
Right.
So they take it. So he's doing this, actively doing this for years to the tune of $200 million. He eventually ends up backing a political candidate to run for president of the Congo, the Democratic Republic of the Congo.
Why?
Well, because the Congo has the largest, I don't want to say surplus, but it has the largest depository of minerals in the world. Zinc, everything. It's got all zinc. What is the other? God, there's some other
What's
ion.
the thing
there's-
in uncut gems?
I forget what he had.
Oh, I mean,
Some
you've got
crazy
you've got
gem.
diamonds, you've got
Diamonds,
gold, you've
yeah.
got silver, you've got
Iron,
platinum, but
probably.
it's also got there's a metal that's in cell phones that's huge. And I forget.
Titanium.
Okay, titanium, whatever it is. Well, I don't know what it is,
Scrapping
but
cell phones.
the point is they've got tons
That's what they
of
put
it.
in my neck.
Here's the issue: is that because there's these warring factions, nobody can go in and get to it. They've been at war for 40, 50 years.
Right.
Nobody can go in. So you're either going to go in and wipe out the entire population and then just take it, which nobody's going to let you do, or you hope that eventually the government gets a stable government that's not corrupt. So he backs a political candidate that's actually really almost an American.
Okay.
It's a Congolese that came here, was educated here, became a doctor, and then goes back there, and he goes in and he says, look, I'm going to run your campaign. I'll fund your campaign. I'm going to provide security for your campaign. But once you're president, you have to adopt capital genesis, which is my idea of how we're going to structure the entire economy. Now, he knows that very quickly the economy will, it'll stabilize, and then he'll be able to go into other countries. He also plans on building the largest military in history. He's already negotiating. At this point, he was negotiating with the World Bank. No, not the World Bank. With the
So what was his plan?
Bank
To,
of the-
to do this with every country in the world?
Well, his plan was to go into Africa, and then spread into whatever, Nigeria and all these
Right,
neighboring.
right.
Eventually, he
Just
ends
start
up
to
with
take
Africa.
over.
He ends up
So-
with the whole country. So
He
you've
ends
got
up-
a continent. Now we're a continent.
Now we're moving.
Where
Right.
he's got the president of every country in his pocket.
No, it may not even be the president. He may just come in. The fact is, once he goes into Congo, he's got a security force. He's going to start training these guys and build his own private military
And just take over the rest of the country.
and just take over. Right. Well, why wouldn't I just not the whole continent, not the country? He's got
That's
the
what I
country,
meant, the continent.
whole continent.
That's what I meant, the continent, yeah.
It's not hard to take over one of these companies. There's a guy named Simon Mann who Simon Mann had a small security company that came in and actually, I think it was Sierra Leone. There was a rebel uprising or something where they basically had pulled off like a coup, and they had, forget exactly, but basically they had taken over the country. And he came in and with his 100 and some odd guys takes the whole country back. Like they had taken the oil fields and everything. He comes in and there's a whole documentary on it.
Yeah.
That's what they thought Amodeo was. They thought he was a Simon Mann. That was an issue for them because it was like a year earlier that had happened when he goes into Congo. So what happens is while his guys are in the Congo running this guy's campaign, that, by the way, the guy's name is I forget his name. Damn it. Anyway, so his candidate goes from number like 30 down to number 3. The other candidates that are running is the current president, and the second person in the polls was a general by the name of Bimba. And Bimba is a general. So imagine if Schwarzkopf was general of the military and also running for president. Do you see what I mean? Like, you can't do that. What are you doing? That's how it is there. So this guy has got his own army, and the armies aren't all like together. Like, you've got an army, like, you guys are all under me, and they're like, yeah, we're under you. You know, you keep sending us money and feeding us and everything. We're going to stay here, and we're going to, you know, it's not exactly like you're saying, go over there. And they're like, well, why would we go over there? Why would we invade them? I mean, it's a discussion. This isn't like it is in the United States.
Right.
So he was running for president. They realized that this candidate is coming down in the polls, and he may end up winning the presidency. So Bimba ends up grabbing all 32 of Amodeo's security staff, and they grab them and arrest them, and they bring them to a military base, and they hold them for 9 days while Amodeo negotiates and the State Department negotiate to have them released. And it's the whole thing. The CIA is involved. Actually, there's a documentary.
Yeah, 9 days in the Congo.
9 days in the Congo. It's on my channel. Go to my channel, Inside True Crime, Matt Cox and Inside True Crime, and you can watch 9 days in the Congo. Huh? It's great. It is. It's great. And you can see Amodeo. There's interviews with Amodeo. He's great. He's like 5'4". He looks like the little Caesar guy. He's amazing.
Is he taller than you?
No, I think I'm about an inch taller than him.
Got him on an
maybe
inch.
Maybe 2 inches.
Is that why
with
you guys
a
got
good pair of
along so well?
shoes? With a good pair of shoes, for sure, I'm taller.
Wow.
So Amodeo goes in. He goes in hard and fast like a prison rape. They try and grab the Congo. They arrest his guys. He has to negotiate to get the guys out. The CIA's involved. It's a whole thing. He threatens to. He hires he hires a bunch of mercenaries to basically fly in and rescue the troops. He doesn't have to do it, but he does actually hire them, and they're waiting to go in. So while did I tell you that most of I love this. Most of the meetings that he has, like to arrange these types of things, like he has a bunch of meetings with some people from, is it Tajikistan? Because he also tries a coup in Tajikistan. They have their meetings like at Disney World.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Nice.
it's just perfect. Like the whole thing takes place in Orlando.
That's perfect.
I mean, it's so fitting for somebody who thinks he's going to take over the world.
Yeah,
so
it is.
After they get the guys back, he's also trying to. He also is approached by some oligarchies who want to take over Tajikistan because they're having an issue with Putin, and they're trying to get him to pull off a coup in Tajikistan.
Tajikistan?
I think it's Tajikistan.
Tajikistan?
Joykistan.
Jerky?
So that's happening, and then so the other thing is so look, once he gets the guys back, right? So
He gets him. How does he get him back?
well, I mean, they basically let him go. Like
They
there's
let him
just
out.
so much pressure on them, and they're.
And what is it? They do that to try to like derail him running.
Yeah, absolutely. Because his guy now ends up running, or he ends up coming in like fifth. I mean, the guy was like third, and he may end up having won. But now you just basically just decimated his entire campaign. We just took 32 of your Congo guys. So these guys are basically like, okay, we're done.
Yeah.
These guys will basically just grab us and shoot us in the fucking street.
Yeah.
So I like you. I want you to be president. It's not worth me dying.
Yeah.
So
Been real.
his guy ends up comes in fifth. Amodeo ends up being invited to the White House. I've got pictures of him
That's
with President
fucking
Bush.
insane.
You've seen the picture of him with President Bush.
Yep.
And it's not like a photo op. I mean, he's in the Roosevelt room with people from NATO, and they're all sitting there talking, and it's just not a
That's
photo
crazy
op.
to think he made it to the White House.
The White
He's
House.
standing there with those people, and this guy's trying to take over the whole fucking world.
And what's so funny is, but think about it, if you had a buddy who said that
Isn't
to you.
everybody that's in politics somewhat don't you think everybody
Not
in
like
politics
that.
is kind of like him? Not to
They're
that
a little
extreme.
everybody's got a little quirky. Everybody's a
The
little
foundation of that way of thinking,
Look, Steve
I feel like,
Jobs-
is in some way or another in the people's minds that are in politics.
What, that they ultimately want to take over the world?
Not that they like. I'm not saying to that
To that
extreme
extent,
but
okay.
like a watered down version of that.
I mean, yeah, I think they all think that they may all think that they want to make some massive changes, but keep in mind he's off
trying to dominate.
He's off
the
the
world.
rails.
Not
I mean,
run the world.
Yeah, he's trying to. He's thinking, look, I'm going to do it economically, or I'm going to do it with force, but it's going to happen. And he's actively look. If you gave me $200 million, I'm still never going to think.
Yeah, I can take over the world now.
I can start invading. Well, yeah, I can start invading countries now.
Yeah.
It's not gonna. I'm gonna go buy some planes. I'm gonna get these guys over
200
here.
mil,
We're
how
gonna
many
go in.
planes?
It's never even gonna enter my mind. This is the other thing that kills me about him.
Somebody
So
should
he's got-
give him a lot of money.
He's got hundreds of millions of dollars. You gave me $100 million. I'm gonna have a penthouse filled with strippers. I'm driving a couple Ferraris and maybe a Porsche and a Lambo. This guy doesn't do anything. He's driving like a 5-year-old Mercedes.
Is that what you would do with $100 million?
That's a goddamn
That's
lie. You're
one of
going
the
straight
things.
to your hairline.
Really?
One of the things. Well,
Yeah.
and I get one more.
How much money would you spend on the hair?
One more. I just need one more surgery.
$7
bro.
grand. That's all you need.
$7,000.
That's nothing.
7 stacks.
Ain't nothing.
7 racks.
We could probably get that in the chat.
Totally worth it.
Can we get
Worth
7
it.
racks in the chat for Matt Cox's hairline?
Racks in the
So-
chat.
Racks in the chat. Racks in the chat.
He then ends up. So here's where it goes wrong.
Rats in the chat.
He
Rat.
ends up. He ends up sponsoring the NATO summit in Latvia, Riga. No, in Riga, Latvia. What am I saying? In Riga, Latvia.
I don't know why you're looking at me. I have no
I
idea.
listen. I was educated in the South. I
Does
didn't
Luke
know there
look
was a
Russian to
country
you?
name. I didn't know there was. Is that Russian?
I don't know.
No fucking idea.
Sounds
Okay.
Russian.
Point is that he ends up sponsoring the summit, or part of the summit. He sponsors some of it. While he's there, he ends up going to a cocktail party. He actually meets with the CIA too, but it's too much to get into. At a cocktail party, he ends up having a manic
Luke,
moment.
That shit hits right.
That?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, then.
He ends up having a manic moment where he ends up telling a bunch of people at a cocktail party. They ask him about the Congo and what his plans were for Africa, and he basically tells them he's going to build like a 1,000,000-man army, and he's going to take over all of Africa and eventually the entire world. And then he says we won't need NATO anymore. So by the time he actually flies back to the United States, they're serving subpoenas on his companies. They're digging in. It takes about a year or so for them to finally come up with something they can charge him with. He won't take a plea. He says, I haven't done anything wrong. I had the right to use those funds, because they realize he's using funds that were held for the IRS. He's saying I'm allowed to use those funds. And we can argue that out in court. What ends up happening is the U.S. attorney gets together with his lawyer, and they get him ruled as a ward of the state, and he's incompetent, and they give him a guardian. They then send him to a psychiatric hospital where he's drugged, and when he comes back, they convince him to sign a plea, and they say, look, you're going to sign what's called an open plea. You're going to plead to the charges, but we're going to allow you to go in front of the judge and explain the situation. You might get probation or a couple of years. You'll be fine. He's completely drugged out of his mind.
What kind of drugs is he on?
Listen, if you read the transcripts of what he was on,
Yeah.
I mean, it just goes on and on and on about Depakote and all kinds of just ridiculous
Did
stuff.
they give him
that
any
he's-
psychedelics?
I don't know about psychedelics.
Like any kind of like acid or anything?
How would I know? I don't know anything about drugs.
They wouldn't have listed it in there. I mean, you would have seen it if you would have read it.
I don't remember the name of all the
Just give
drugs.
people acid.
What are you talking about?
Acid.
Charles Manson.
I don't.
I'm sure he was giving himself acid.
He's getting himself most of it.
What? No, the CIA was giving him acid, bro.
I'm sure he tells
That-
that.
oh
How
my
was the
God,
CIA giving him
You don't
acid?
know about that?
Come on.
MK
Wait,
Ultra?
What are you, bro? What are you?
No.
And that's
man.
Charles Manson
You're
was.
getting
Wait till you
was
see
a
the
part of
fucking
that
podcast
program.
I'm doing next week with the dude
Listen.
who wrote a book about that.
You don't know MK.
What's
Ultra.
that about?
Me?
How the CIA was giving
MK
Charles
Ultra was
Manson
it was a
acid?
program
Really?
where they were giving.
Yeah.
I've never heard that.
It's
weren't,
fucked
weren't
up.
they giving prisoners? Was it
it
prisoners
was
or
military
was it the
guys.
military? It was both, probably. I mean,
It was the CIA. I'm pretty sure it was the CIA.
How do you just give somebody acid?
They were dosing
They were
doing
prisoners.
Mind control.
Yeah, they were doing mind control shit that they were testing on prisoners to use with military people to basically convince somebody just to go kill somebody and like completely drain them of all emotions and all empathy and everything.
See if they can
All right,
psych
so
them up and just.
He's on 3,000
I'm in.
milligrams of
I'm listening.
Depakote daily, 8 grams of Geodone daily, and
Cocaine?
Lebitol,
libtard.
whatever, daily, 2 milligrams of a sleep-induced agent, which helps accelerate the medication, which is Razamor or Metorafol. Bro, I can't even say. I bet this is all the stuff he's on. He said he was
It's a
basically
Saturday night special.
Yeah, it sounds
all right there.
sounds like a goddamn golden corral of cocktails.
So, anyway, he ends up. The judge, he talks. So then they take him off the medication. They never tell his guardian. They have him sign a plea. Here, sign the plea. You'll get to go in front of the judge. You can explain what happened. The judge will, you probably won't be in trouble. It's not a big deal, but you did break the law. Sign the plea. So he signs the plea. Well, you're a ward of the state. You're incompetent. You were given. They know he was given a guardian. Why are you asking me to sign a plea? I'm not allowed to sign a plea. You know I'm not allowed to sign a plea. They never tell the guardian. You know when the guardian finds out that he signed a plea and was found guilty and sentenced to prison? He calls him from prison 2 weeks after he gets there. And the guy's like, okay, well, hey, Frank, I'm glad you're doing and he's like, well, let me know when the trial is. He's like, when the trial is? What are you talking about? I've been sentenced. I'm in prison. I got 22 years.
Damn.
So he goes in front of the judge. They take him off the medication, and they say, go on in there and explain what you were doing, Frank. He goes in there and starts talking about world domination and all this crazy shit.
So they just set
They
him
set
up.
And
his ass
yeah,
up.
3
Set
days
him up.
later, the judge is like, look, you're done. Boom,
You're done,
22
son.
years. It's so funny, too, because when I was doing the transcripts, like one of the things that happens is the doctor says to the judge, Your Honor, Mr. Amodeo realizes he could face up to 5 years. And the prosecutor goes, 25 years, Your Honor. And he goes, 25 years? So the doctor's like, 25. He's like, we know it can be significant. Anyway, I mean, you read the transcripts, it's hilarious.
Wow.
You know what else is hilarious? Listen. He actually goes to a board meeting one time wearing a Darth Vader mask.
Fuck yeah.
A board meeting.
A board meeting. Goes to the board, puts the Darth Vader, goes in, sits down, and conducts an hour-long board meeting in the mask. And he's so manic and just off the rails, and you just don't know what he's going to do. Like, nobody says anything. Now,
That's a perfect character for him, Darth Vader.
Yeah, it is.
it is.
That's who we think. That's who he wants to be.
That's
Yeah.
actually, I interviewed one of the.
Does he have any kids?
Actually, where it sounds like
He's got
the
two.
story's
Does he
making
really?
sense now.
Where do his kids live?
One lives in Australia and the other one's in Orlando. So anyway, so one of the people that I interviewed, one of the guys, one of the CEOs, I think it was a CEO that I interviewed of his company, he says Amodeo was like a little Darth Vader being followed around by stormtroopers. And I love that
That's
image.
awesome.
He
that
said
should
that
have been the cover of the book.
That should have been the cover of the book for sure.
So then, like, I remember hearing about the meeting, right? Then when I was reading the transcripts, this chick, Edie, her name is, I don't know. Anyway, Edie, she ends up saying in there, she talks about how, listen, one time he came into a meeting wearing a fucking helmet, a Darth Vader helmet, conducted the entire meeting. I had heard it. I was just dying laughing. I was like, oh my
fucking awesome.
God. So, I mean, I can't get into the whole book, but bro, it's so over the top insane. I think I spit on your mic, bro. I'm sorry. It's so over the top, just insane.
Germ it up.
Actually gonna do those.
You're
It's
responsible.
so over the top, insane that I can't get into the whole thing. Like you read it and you go, "This, why is this not a movie?" Look, so when I went to L.A., I met with 2 producers about the book. Like they were.
Were
like,
you in
"This
LA
is
last week?"
insane." Last week, they're like, "This is nuts."
Oh yeah, it's
We
wild.
talked about it for like an hour. They're like, "This is insanity." And the thing is, you can look it up and you'll see.
Cha-ching.
You'll see little bits and pieces of it when you put it all together and realize what was really happening. It's just.
I
it's
want them to
total
make a
crazy.
movie about its insanity, and I want Jonah Hill to play Amodeo.
No way, Jonah Hill can't. Play.
What?
Yeah.
Jonah Hill's
Jonah would be
perfect for
perfect for
Amodeo.
Jonah Hill?
Jonah Hill's amazing.
Might need like Joe Pesci.
No,
he's too
Joe
old.
Pesci,
Joe-
bro.
Too old.
Look,
Come on.
he was probably in his late 30s, early 40s when most of this is happening.
Danny DeVito.
In his 40s. So how old is? No, Danny DeVito's too old.
Didn't he play the Penguin?
He did.
Yeah, he did.
Anyway,
Jonah
look,
Hill, Wolf of Wall Street, with like those teeth and everything.
Oh,
man.
yeah,
that's
Definitely seen
perfect,
that.
When he
dude.
plays
Oh, wow.
Deveroli, he kills that too.
Yeah, he does.
So I got the after action report from the Congo. I've got the medical reports. I've got all the transcripts. I got
Buy it now.
I got the books
That's
on Amazon.
fucking crazy.
The books on Amazon.
Amazon.com.
It's a great book. It's an amazing.
Everybody
book.
buy the book.
And it's only 160. It's only 160 pages.
MattCox69@gmail.com. Send some money.
Matt Cox 69.
I love it. So, when's the last time you actually talked to Amodeo?
Oh, the day before I left prison.
Really?
Like I can't talk to him because he's. I mean, I
You're
could.
not allowed to talk to him.
Yeah, I'm not
really,
allowed
right?
to talk to him. I could. I mean, because he's a felon. I could, if I told my probation officer, look, I wrote a book about this guy. I'd like to talk to him, but I haven't, and he,
You think he'd talk to you?
yeah, I think he would. I think he. I know he talks.
What do you think
to-
he's doing now?
I don't know. I think. I mean, I know he was running. I know he was planning on starting some type of a company or something to do post conviction work for prisoners. But I don't know how well that went. I haven't really reached out to him. He hasn't reached out to me. We basically, there's a guy named Donovan Davis. Donovan Davis's wife, like I've talked to his wife several times, and Amodeo talks to the wife. So she's like, he's doing good, he's doing that, and but that's it. Like we don't pass messages, we don't really talk, because I could call him. I could ask her, hey, what's his phone number? But I would have to ask my PO, and I don't.
I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna call him.
I don't really need to do that.
Yeah.
There's no reason to do it.
He's got to be
At
up
my
to something
point.
though. I can't just picture him
Oh,
sitting at
he's-
home doing nothing.
Listen, he's
He's got to.
Listen,
have
he got
something going
22.
on.
Here's the thing: he got 22 years, right? So when I left, he still had 10 years to go.
And then when when's
6
he
months,
get out?
6 months later to a year.
So how the fuck is he out right now?
he
'Cause
got
of COVID?
he got it through like the Second Chance Act or something. He convinced the court to basically allow him to serve the remainder of his sentence at home under house arrest, because he said that they don't have the facilities to treat his mental illness, so he has to be at home. So they said, yeah, you're right, we can't really give you the right counseling and drugs and monitoring, so we're going to let you go home, and so you can go to an actual hospital and do that. And that's so he got transferred to home confinement, which is 10 years of home confinement. I've never heard of that in my life.
Right, that never happens, right?
Never.
That's
That
excessive.
never happens.
That's
That is
insane.
pretty insane.
Yeah. It's nuts.
He's the only lawyer to ever do that,
I'm the only inmate I've ever heard that's done that.
and he happened to be both. His inmate. He was his own lawyer, right?
Yeah, well, he is now. Now he's, once you're locked up, they don't give you a lawyer. You're done. Now you're just filing shit yourself. You're pro se.
PayPal ain't working, bro.
What is the deal? Somebody sent me.
People are complaining that they can't send you money.
Well, that is upset. That's
upsetting.
I just
absurd.
sent you. I just sent it to you.
What did you send to me?
My PayPal. So send it to him.
I don't have my phone with me.
What?
What's your? What is the deal? I've got a PayPal.
You leave your phone in the car?
No, it's over there charging.
Oh.
This is my PayPal. I showed you.
What if you have to text somebody during the podcast?
Just copy and you can't copy and paste the link in there.
He didn't send it to me.
Send it to Luke.
I'm trying to. Give me your phone number. Write your phone number down.
Tell it on the chat.
Okay. Look.
Yeah, okay.
So that's
727
Beep
69
beep beep.
420. Matt.
688-0493.
Okay, so
That's a throwback.
pay
Oh, that was not. Oh yeah, you're right.
Now
That's
he's
not your
gonna
number.
type
anymore.
PayPal.
if I typed it, it'd be all.
So what else
jacked
did you do when you were out in
Matt.
California?
up. But the homeless population in California is
hear it's crazy out
of
there right now.
fucking
Yeah, because they
control.
changed the laws. Now they can actually keep all their luggage out in the streets.
It's ridiculous. Look, somebody told me, and I don't know if this is true, but this is what the guy told me, that they'll arrest you. Like if you steal and it's under $500, they'll arrest them. They take them downtown, they process them, they release them. So every place you go to downtown has an armed guard. Well, I don't know. They weren't armed.
If
I
you
don't think they were.
steal and it's under $500,
They don't prosecute you. They arrest you, take you downtown. They print you and everything, book you, and let you right back out. So every place downtown has they all have guards. They all have
I
security
went to
guards.
a weed shop on Melrose, and there was this like 7-foot dude with this giant fucking. He had like a full-size Glock on his hip, and it looked
And there's
like
just homeless people everywhere.
Oh,
one of those
man.
mini.
That's a lot of socias out there sitting
Oh,
on the
man.
sidewalk.
Oh,
I'm telling you.
I'm
I mean,
Ooh,
it's
That's a social galore.
it's a buffet.
that's a social buffet.
I mean, this guy figured it out.
Yeah, he sent $1.99.
No, he said
Somebody sent 25 bucks.
No,
$25. Sign a book for him.
Kyle Roberts
Kyle Roberts paid you $25.
He's $5 short of getting
I love
signed a
Kyle.
book.
came through.
I
You almost got something.
Kyle's all right.
Sign
all
a
right.
book for him.
I'm going to. I'm gonna.
He's gonna go AWOL if you don't.
No,
When
do it right now on the podcast.
Yeah, sign it on the camera.
wanna
What
see
am I
you do
saying?
it-
Yeah. What if you want something special?
Like,
Like
I
I
want to
just-
see you do it on the camera so people can see what they
I mean,
get.
Give the people what they want.
The people. That's Danny. I'm saying, what if he wants something special? What if he says, "Hey, say this."
Just make it up. Say, hey,
Kyle, what do you
Hey,
Kyle?
hey,
What do you want him to
Bro,
say?
What do you want me to say, bro?
So yeah, two fucking. What did we call? Hold on.
Hang
What?
on.
The what?
What did they used to? What we used to call Kyle?
Owl?
No, that
Kyle
was Zach.
Alberts?
Owl?
Hey, wait a minute. Does Kyle want It's Insanity, or does he want?
He wants It's Insanity. Of course. That's what this podcast is all
Yeah.
about. It's insanity.
Oh, somebody just dropped $100.
Woo!
The doctor.
The doctor? Oh, my God. Matt,
doctor.
your
The
groupies
doctor,
are blowing it up.
The
Who's
doctor is awesome.
He's the guy who
bro,
bought
by
the
way.
painting. Isn't
Did they actually donate it, or did they send it to his PayPal?
Super chat.
Super chat, Hundo. I
We
mean,
got
it's
a
my
hundo in the
Hundo,
super
Matt.
chat.
Ooh.
Oh, that's
Ooh, kiss
upsetting.
it goodbye. Sorry, doctor.
Thanks a
Bad
lot,
investment.
Doc. You just gave him $100.
Don't refund it, please,
Um,
Doc. We appreciate your support.
Yeah, he's good.
Keeping the
He's-
nightmare alive.
Matt, or Kyle
bro,
said
I
he
went.
wants a special drawing.
We
It's
went
in the PayPal
skydiving.
message.
We went skydiving. Yeah. As a matter of fact, if you go to my channel right now, I'll release my skydiving video. I got a skydiving video.
You're going to release it right now exclusively for our viewers?
Sure, why not? It's Matt Cox and Inside True Crime. Subscribe. I'm going to do it right now. I'm going to release the skydiving video. That's a good idea. All right,
That's a
cool.
great idea. It's a little exclusive bonus.
Where
You don't even have
is-
to pay.
You don't even have to knock.
But where's my view videos? I'm going into my
You don't even have
You
to.
don't even have to knock.
Just
Here it
fisting
is.
ham in an ashtray.
Full of pudding.
Oh man, this is hold on.
Chocolate pudding.
All right, let's see. Unlist, public, save.
Wow.
Unreal.
Wow. Shitbird.
The liquor's talking.
Oh, look at him. Matt Cox going skydiving with a mask on.
Damn.
Did you have to wear a mask when you were skydiving?
Nice. No, just in the plane up. You know, you take it off, obviously.
Yeah.
Here. Bro, that's the worst. When you got it, when you go right up to that door, and then you know what the worst is?
You
Is
just got
watching-
another $5 PayPal
Nice. You know what the worst is?
from
Is-
Kyle Roberts. He sent you 5 extra.
Fuck
He
yeah.
wants a he said he left the message in the chat in the thing.
You know what the worst is? The worst is watching the guy in front of you jump. Because you see him go, woo, just he's gone, and you're like,
Yeah,
and
fuck
then you,
that.
and then
They
you
just
have to
jumped
jump?
out of a plane.
I have no desire to go skydiving.
Don't care.
Are you serious?
Never.
It's great. Look at that, bro.
No, it looks fine. It looks cool.
Listen, I went with the doctor. The doctor's got his own stuff, his own chute. He's jumped like a couple. God, I think he's jumped like 30
Do you
or 40
think
or
the
50
doctor
times.
could give you hair implants while skydiving?
Oh my god.
I mean,
Could you imagine doing a hair implant operation while skydiving?
but they're so sturdy they don't come out while you're skydiving.
You want subscribers, Matt?
Oh yeah.
There you go.
Make that shit happen.
All right. You all right? Yeah. All right. So what did Kyle say?
He said he left it in the PayPal message. He wants a special message.
Special message. What?
Who wants Matt to go skydiving while getting a hair implant from the
He
doctor?
did. He just put. Okay.
That's pricey. I mean, that's $7,000 for the hair, a couple hundred for the plane jump. I mean, you're talking $8,000 now.
Easy $8,000, and then you got to pay us like a couple
gotta film
to
it.
film it.
Yeah.
You guys are something else, man. The hell.
A solid 10.
Does anybody? Is it what?
Does your probation officer know you went skydiving?
What's the jurisdiction up there?
I'm still in the middle district. I'm pretty sure.
So if you went like 50 miles offshore out into the international waters, would you be allowed to hang out with Amodeo? Or hang out with other felons?
I'm not allowed to hang out with felons.
Period.
Yeah, but if you're in international waters, are you allowed
And you
to?
just like
He's probably
happen
not
to
even
drive
allowed to
by
go
each
out
other.
I
there.
understand this. He's saying, well, I don't see what I'm supposed to.
Let me see
There's
it.
no message.
Let me see it, Matt Cox.
Not allowed in international waters.
He's probably
First of all, I'm not allowed. I'm not allowed
to leave the county.
Oh, he just sent you his
True.
address, so you can send it to him.
Let
Oh,
alone, I mean, you're leaving the state at that point.
You're leaving
All
the
right.
nation.
Yeah.
Yeah, got it.
Yeah.
So that's his
You're in the
address.
nowhere.
Let's write him a nice little note.
All
Draw him
right.
a little picture.
So,
Another hundo from
Goddamn.
the doctor.
so we're gonna do two.
Another hundo?
From the doc.
Another
Whoa.
I know
Doc.
it's not to him.
Doc, thank you, Doc.
No, are you
$200 to the
serious?
blimp.
Says the doctor comes through for Matt Cox.
What are you doing? Stop sending money to
Yes.
him.
The
You're
doc-
sending money to him. What are you doing?
You made $5,000 the last podcast.
This
now
guy's
you're,
loaded.
I didn't
now
see a
you're
dime of
telling
that.
everybody not to send money to me?
You know,
It's not sending the money to you. I'm
You
pretty
are-
sure he's sending it to me.
I think he knows how to send it to you, Matt. He sent you
Yeah.
like $4,000 the last podcast.
He did not. Will you stop saying that? It's you keep raising the figure.
How
too.
much money did you make the last podcast we did?
I honestly I don't recall.
it was so much he couldn't
Look,
count.
so-
There was a comma in the number, okay?
So-
That's all that matters.
So I'm gonna
Comma?
There was a
two
comma.
Damn.
Kyle.
To
All right.
Kyle.
You cocksucker.
I'm gonna go
Call him a cocksucker.
from
Your partner in crime.
Oh.
secret.
I want my book signed too.
He said he wants a picture of Danny with a micro penis and a rat face.
Who said that?
Kyle.
Most wanted. Okay.
Give him all the cheese.
Yeah.
Is there a, hold on, Matt. After you sign this, I got a question for you.
Uh-huh.
A really important question.
Okay. All right.
What's the difference between a snitch and a rat?
Fuck. What is this? A planned
question.
question? What is the difference? I don't know. What did Morgan Freeman say?
Doesn't matter what Morgan Freeman said.
You
I
sent
only
me that
care about
thing.
what Matt Cox says.
Snitch and a rat. I don't think there's a difference at all.
Really?
Yeah. I don't see a difference at all. Why?
Didn't you say you went in a podcast in L.A. and you got in a really
Fresh-
heated argument?
It
with
actually
the guy?
wasn't a heated argument because
But it was awkward. What was it? What would you call it?
It was awkward because the guy was 300 or 290 pounds and probably close to 6 foot tall, and he was extremely animated, and it could have gone bad. Could have gone bad for me, but it didn't.
So what
You
happened?
survived.
What did
got
he ask
upset.
you?
Oh,
What
he
did he
got
ask you?
super upset. I mean, he told me he knew my story. He goes,
Okay.
"Oh yeah, I know your story. I know your story."
And you admit it that you were a snitch.
Yeah, I fucking ratted out everybody I fucking could think of to fucking get out of
your
it.
To use your words, you said you cut everybody's throat you could.
Everybody's thought I
Yeah.
could give a shit. Fuck them.
What was that quote that you said
Fuck 'em.
earlier?
What?
Was it the guy, the general, whatever? What's his name? They said
Who?
like,
Amadeo?
yeah, it was a quote in the book that you
Oh
had.
yeah. Oh, be polite.
Anthrax the whole village.
No, be
No,
polite.
that one.
Be professional, and have a plan to kill everyone you meet.
Nice.
Wow.
That's General James Mad Dog Mattis.
James Mattis. Why do I know that name?
You don't
he
know
was
that
in
name.
front of Congress a few times. He was running. I think he was the military. He was the general who was running. I want to say Afghanistan during the surge. I believe. I could be wrong.
Yeah.
He looks like a green rectangle covered in medals whenever you see him on
Oh,
TV.
yeah, he's-
a green rectangle?
Yeah,
He's
with like a head
got
poking
some
out of it.
great
Like you know that
quotes.
Kanye. No, this like army suit. It's so square.
Like the
and
Roblox?
rigid. He
No,
looks like
he's saying
Kanye
he's
West
got
and Lil
tons
Pump
of
in that
medals.
video.
I love it video.
The I Love It video, but like in military fatigues because he has so many medals, they had to expand
Holy
the jacket
fuck.
for him.
Jesus.
What are you reading right now?
I'm just. got
Matt's
a whole-
okay for
I got
people
a
listening
whole
that
bunch.
aren't watching. Matt's on his phone just scrolling,
Who-
and he's saying things like,
Oh God.
I'm saying there's just a bunch of.
Jesus.
I got a
Oh,
bunch
my
in the last
God.
3 minutes, 4 minutes. I've got a bunch of.
PayPal's.
No. Oh no. I wish.
scrolling
No.
through his YouTube comments.
Yeah, just comments. Just comments.
Good comments.
That's cool, Cox. I used to
Damn,
be
the
a
doctor.
retail scammer.
The doctor's coming through again.
Another hundo.
Another hundo from the doctor.
He said he sent you $1.50.
I love the doctor.
What does the doctor do? Why is he out here splurging?
Is he actually a doctor?
Matt Cox Matt Cox becomes Marcus Shrinker. I don't know what that one is.
He's calling you a liar.
Well, wasn't there another comment too that you said was really interesting about your feet and shoes and what you think people?
Okay, so let's get back to the snitch rat question.
Why? Because you think it's going to bring in some viewers? What is it?
I think it's interesting. I want to know. So how did it go when you said the guy was really
Oh, yeah,
animated?
bro,
he was
he
really
was all
intimidating. Why was he so upset?
He was upset because he's a pen guy, right? So he robbed a bank. So the problem.
Who robbed a bank?
The
The guy who's hosting this podcast that you were on.
Yes.
Okay.
So,
And he's like an ex-con podcast, like doing a true crime podcast or something.
Yeah, he does. It's supposed to be fresh. It's like you're fresh out of prison.
Okay.
And it's like, what are you doing now?
Okay, got it.
So he says, okay, so what did you do? And he said, look, you talk for about 15, 20 minutes about what you did, and we'll talk about what you did in prison and what you're doing now. I was like, all right, it's cool. So we start talking. We talk about, I say, okay, so here's what here's what got me into prison or got me locked up. I start going through the whole motions, boom, 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 boom. He's like, all right. And then we get to the point where I say, okay, and then I got arrested. They're basically going to give me 154 years. They're saying if they stack it, they can give me 154. But that probably wouldn't happen. I'd probably end up, if I went to trial and lose, I'd get probably 32 years. I said, well, I'm not fucking doing 32 years. I said, so my U.S. attorneys, or my public defender says, or you can cooperate. Everybody's already cooperated against you. This is just how it works. This is what's going on. And I was like, okay. I was like, well, what do you mean? What? And you just got to be interviewed by him. I said, okay, cool. I'll be interviewed. So at that point, he's like, he gives me the look.
Whoa. You're a snitch at that point.
Yeah. Well, now he's realizing
because you agreed to cooperate.
Yeah. He's like, ugh.
Yeah.
And I went, I realized, that's when I realized, oh, you don't really know my story. You've never really seen my story.
Right.
You're saying you have, but you haven't.
Right.
And then I'm like,
he just saw the views.
yeah, he maybe watched 20 minutes or something, but he didn't see it. And I realized I've seen all the guys you've interviewed,
Yeah.
And I know that the guys that he's interviewed, if they cooperated, they skate right over it. Does that make sense?
Yes.
He doesn't like to talk about
No,
that.
and of course you're not going to say it. Who's going to say that?
Right.
These guys aren't going to say that. They went to a pen or they went to a medium, and they're, I sold this many. If you start doing the math, it doesn't really matter. I got caught with this many kilos and this many and this, all these guys and this and this and this, and yeah, so I did 10 years. Whoa. You did 10 years.
Yeah.
That's a fucking life sentence. But he never goes into any of that. It's never.
Right.
So I say, boom, I cooperate, and I said,
There's
but then
a
I don't.
huge ingredient that has to go into that cocktail to make it be
Yeah.
10 years.
Right. And so he sits there and he goes, well, he gives me this look, and I went, I said, that's right. Nobody really says that, do they? They don't admit that.
Yeah.
And
you
he's
said
like,
that.
he's kind of like, well, I just don't believe in that. And I went, no, I understand. I said, well, yeah, because I didn't tell nobody. I said, no, I understand. I said, well, you're unique. So, and I keep trying. I tried it. Let's just, okay, let's just keep going. And he keeps coming back to it. So you told on people? Yeah. I'm like, yeah, everybody told on me. I said, that's just the way it is. That's what everybody's fucking ratting on everybody. Oh, I wouldn't tell on nobody. I'm like, yeah, I understand, but you're unique, and you're going to a pen, and you're not looking at 26 years. You're a guy from the street.
Yeah.
You're going to a pen.
Mm-hmm.
You say something, you might get killed. They're not sending me to a pen. I can't go to a pen, because he's like, man, if you went to the pen, I go, yeah, but I didn't, because I can't go to a pen. Because the truth is that they don't send people like me to a pen.
Right.
I go, and then I go, bro, I'm a soft white guy. They're not going to send me to the pen. And then he was like, because these guys couldn't dare admit that they're soft.
Yeah.
Right.
It's all about just pure anger and toughness and no weakness. And this is a guy who he tells kids, part of it is, well, what would you tell kids? And so he ends up saying to me, what would you tell kids? And I went, I'd tell them not to commit crime. And he goes, yeah, but I'm saying if they get caught. And I went, no, don't commit crime. You won't get caught. No, but I'm saying if they did. You're telling me if they did commit crime, you're saying, read my super chats.
Who?
The doctor.
He wants to know how much has the doctor contributed to the Cox Fund altogether in the last 3 months.
It's not the Cox Fund.
The doctor wants to know how much he's
doctor
contributed.
fund.
That's what he said.
Yeah, I don't know. It's significant. He bought me. I've got a computer. He's helped me with the computer. He's helped me with camera equipment.
Wow.
He's
doctor's a nice
the
guy,
doctor's
huh?
awesome. The doctor's awesome.
Shout out to the doc.
We went skydiving.
Shout out to the doc.
Heck yeah, we went to dinner a few
I
times.
want to know, what kind of doctor is he?
You know,
I mean, come on. It can't take that long.
He's probably the kind of doctor that has a billboard.
No, he's not. Definitely not. What kind of doctor is he, Matt? I know you know.
I mean, he's, I don't know what kind of doctor he
You
is.
never asked him that?
I mean,
the doctor.
you know what? Listen, what am I supposed to say?
Dr. Feelgood?
I mean, I can ask him what kind of doctor.
No, I mean, I just thought
Feels
I
good.
thought you
Ooh.
fucking knew.
No. I do. What kind of doctor? Question mark. Read my super chats, bro. So anyway,
What if he's a plastic surgeon and you never
He's
asked
not.
him what he is?
Or he does hair transplants.
because it would have come up. Because we talked about the hair.
Maybe that's why he's giving you all this money to like seed that idea. Like,
Seed that
ooh,
idea.
let me go like spend this money back on the doctor and a little bit more.
Huh?
Like he does hair transplants.
No, he doesn't do
So
that.
he's giving you this money.
Doesn't
so
do
you're
hair
gonna go spend it back on him.
No,
that wouldn't make any
What?
sense. I don't understand.
I think it
Leg
makes perfect
splits.
sense.
I don't
Doesn't make
understand
any
that logic.
It makes perfect sense.
He's trying to recoup.
When you think about it.
You trying to recoup? You think that's what? Did he message you back yet?
No.
The doc.
No, he's probably playing with his kids or on the computer.
He's
or
in the chat.
I mean,
just-
he's in the
in the
chat
chat?
watching the
He's-
podcast.
So why didn't you ask him what kind of doctor?
He's throwing money at you like you work at Mons Venus.
Woo! I'll show you.
You throw me enough. You put enough money in it.
Yeah,
I
you-
will.
People really want you to eat shit tonight.
Huh?
People want you to eat Danny's poop.
That's what people are saying.
That's been the main topic of the chat.
It is. It's amazing
That's sick.
how disgusting these fuckers are, and cruel and mean. They say
It's not
horrible-
amazing.
And cheap.
They say horrible things.
They want to see it. They want all the action, but they don't want to pay
the
for
action.
Yeah.
That's not action. That's disgusting,
Depends on who you ask.
it. The internet's a weird place.
man. Fucking place got weird when I was gone.
What the fuck happened?
Oh, what were we just talking about? I fucking forgot.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah,
the
okay.
confident- the
It was
argument.
getting
So-
weird. The guy
Oh
was
yeah.
like, "Why would you admit to being a rat or being a soft white guy?"
Yeah, he's going on. No, he didn't. He didn't actually say that. He just keeps going and going and going. He just keeps, and I'm like, okay, well, clearly we're cut from a different cloth. So I said, so anyway, and I'm like, do you want to keep talking about this? He's like, no, what I'm saying is this, and he's going on, and I'm saying you with this, you with that. I'm like, yeah. He goes, so you saying you're gonna get caught? He goes, you're gonna get caught. You get caught doing something. No, first he said, it's your duty as a soldier or something along those lines. And I was like, soldier? He goes, yeah, like if you're a soldier and you get caught and they torture you, you got to hold out so you don't tell on your platoon. And I went, am I a soldier in this? I'm not a soldier.
Have you ever seen the movie Batman? You ever heard of the Joker?
Yeah, I'm not.
That's
I'm
me.
I'm not.
Bro, I'm taking
holding-
socials.
I'm taking socias. I don't know about soldiers.
I mean, I just, it always kills me, these guys that are selling crack they're selling crack in the park, to pregnant women, and then they get caught, and you think that this guy's not going to tell on you, or he's going to hold strong. Nobody should tell on me. You're just a scumbag, bro. You're selling fucking crack.
Yeah.
And you're selling crack, or you're kicking in people's doors, or you're committing fraud, or you're doing scams, and you get caught, and now you have principles.
Yeah.
You're just a scumbag. Or someone else gets caught that's fucked
Now
up
you
with
decided
you.
to stand your ground on something.
Now I'm gonna. You gotta. Don't tell on me. I won't tell on you. Are you serious?
That's the line.
You're fucking ripping off little old ladies' pension funds.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? Yeah, but we're bros. Bros? Your
The
bro's
street
gonna fuck
code.
your. There's no street code. Your bro's gonna fuck your girl when you're gone and take all your shit. That's what's gonna happen.
Taking your PlayStation.
Right. I mean, that's not. So I remember I said, so I'm supposed to go to prison for 26 years.
Yeah,
And he
fuck
was like,
that.
I'm saying, I'm like, I'm not going to prison for 26 years. I'm not doing it.
Dude's playing Fortnite on your account, on your couch.
His feet on your table.
He's spending all your V-Bucks.
I know a guy.
ones you earned.
That got out of prison and told the guy to go to my wife. He actually sets the guy up like, you can stay. I talked to my wife. She'll let you stay in like the spare room until you get a job and get this and get that. Listen, 2 months later, he calls. He calls, and the wife says, "Don't call anymore. I'm with so and so now." The guy you set up in prison that your wife's going to help out, that you're going to help out. Your wife's been running with you for 4 or 5 years. Now he's fucking your wife. This is your buddy. That's what they're all scumbags.
Yeah.
Now, if you're a guy and you're a stand-up guy and you go to a pen, now I can understand you telling me, I didn't say anything, not because I'm a good guy, because you're not. But I didn't say anything because I was afraid that when I went to the pen, they might kill me if I showed up with paperwork that said I snitched on everybody.
Right.
Okay, I got it. I understand. You're going to a pen. You can't say anything. You know what it's like. You're going to a California pen. You're just fucking done.
Right.
I'll take the fucking 10 years. So, but the difference is that it's that, or my family's in danger. I know that these guys will kill my family because I know they've killed my family before. But guess what? That's not me. Danny's, if I fucking told on Danny, he ain't killing nobody.
No.
Danny's not going to bust a grape. The worst Danny's going to do is sue me.
He's ratting.
That's it. And
No, but I have a few people I could pay some money to that would really not make your life very pleasant.
I mean, and
I have a really good friend
He
who I
said
could pay about
he's a
$500
neurosurgeon.
who would
I mean,
burn your house down.
What?
For five?
a neurosurgeon. He's a
A
neurosurgeon.
neurosurgeon. Sounds like he
What?
could do
He's
your
a
hair.
brain surgeon?
I mean, I guess that's what he's saying.
Holy
No wonder
shit.
he's got so much damn money.
I don't believe it. Prove it.
Listen, he's got like, he
If he could do brain
His-
surgery, he could do your hair transplant. That's for
That's
damn
true.
Damn
his
teeth.
wife's car
He's
is like
qualified.
$150,000. Was it like a Land Rover or something, or a Range Rover or something? It was his wife's car.
Wow. What's he driving?
I don't know. It was in the shop or something. I forget. He's like, yeah, this is my
Rari's
wife's
in the
car. I just
shop.
picked it up. I was like,
Rari.
It's always in the shop.
So yeah, that podcast did not go well. He was disgusted by me. It really broke my heart too, because I thought we were going to be friends. But then he left, and when he was leaving, and the cameraman couldn't stop.
Where did you guys
smiling.
film it at?
In my hotel room. In
Your hotel room.
Yeah, in downtown. It was was I saying the Hilton
By the airport?
Checkers. No. Hilton Checkers in downtown. It was a really nice hotel. So we do the whole thing. They gather all their stuff up. They go to leave, and when they're leaving, this cameraman he couldn't stop smiling. Like this guy, and I kept saying, I go, boy, you're really upset about this. Well, I don't believe in that. I don't believe. I said, well, I understand you don't believe in it, but you know it happens. It does
So
happen.
even after you stopped rolling, you guys were still talking about this?
Oh yeah, he stood up. He's packing up his stuff. I go, you really seem upset. I said it like 5 times during.
Really?
The fight. I go, you really seem upset by this. Well, I just don't feel right. I would not do that. I wouldn't do. So I understand. And he's like, and even here's the problem is that when we were on film and we were arguing, we weren't really arguing because he was so animated. I thought there's a good chance this guy fucking swings on me. And let me be perfectly clear. If he had swung on me, I wouldn't have survived it. I mean, this is a big fucking guy.
We would have been calling the neuro doctor.
Yeah, he would have to
He
fix
couldn't have
something.
helped. The doctor couldn't have helped. I mean, so I'm sitting there. So he's making giving me these ridiculous scenarios.
What's the doctor saying?
What'd
he say?
He said, you're an asshole for not telling me you were going to be on the podcast.
Yeah, why wouldn't you tell him?
I didn't tell him because... Well, I don't have to fucking tell him this. I can tell him right now. I didn't say anything because why didn't I? I didn't really... Oh, no,
Why
you
didn't
did.
you?
You told me yesterday.
Yes.
I literally
I told you
forgot
Monday,
until
I think.
earlier. I forgot
I think
until
Monday
earlier
we
today. I was
decided
like,
to do
I
this.
got to do like a Nanny's podcast. Huh?
I think Monday we decided to do this. Monday or Tuesday. I believe it was Monday night.
Well, he
Was it?
knows. He
So I told
obviously
Luke
has the
right after.
notifications
I
on.
forgot. What?
He's a busy guy. He's flying to LA and
Yeah,
shit.
He's on Vice now.
Oh, you're on Vice now.
I
Tell
was-
everybody how you did a fucking documentary for Vice.
It wasn't a documentary. I'm an expert scammer
Yeah, you are.
on Vice. So
He's
I'm
like
one
the
of the
John
expert-
Madden of scamming.
So I'm one of the. Listen, it was That was a pretty bad shoot. Like, I mean, they had me doing all kinds of like, okay, can you go? Would you mind looking out the windows? And I'm like through the blinds, and I go like some kind of peeper. Well,
Vice, they
like,
love
and
shooting B-roll.
you know, like just some B-roll. I said,
they're the
fuck it,
kings of
I'll be a
B-roll.
peeper. Let's do
Hell
this. Come
yeah.
on.
They
put the
did a
camera out there.
documentary on Lanny Poffo, and he was telling me that they spent like 2 full days shooting B-roll. Like him walking through the park, sitting on the bench, feeding pigeons.
You do understand? They told me these things are like 3 or 4 minutes long. They're like, you're literally only going to be on camera for a minute or two on 3 different episodes. It took 6 hours.
Yeah.
Damn.
So
That's
Yeah.
professional.
So listen, when the
Sounds like a
cameraman's
real
leaving,
shoot
right?
with matching cameras. and
Thank you,
chairs.
Doc. Hey, can your doc? Is he
You want- you
certified?
wanna-
Can he
you-
install the?
Let me
Can he
finish this.
install the
You said-
Neuralink?
I thought you had to watch fucking a game or
You gotta
something.
go
at
watch
9.
TV.
You got 6
No, we got the NBA, the last game of the season, the NBA Finals.
Boy, I'm animated.
Last
What am I
game?
doing, bro?
LeBron James versus the Miami Heat.
I'm
Hopefully
all
not
like
last
fucking
game, or else I'll lose
waving my
20.
arms and.
Are you watching yourself?
I just saw myself waving my arms.
Get out of your head.
Forget what I was gonna say.
You're just so in love with yourself. It's like when you look at yourself, you're just, oh my god,
What the fuck
It's
is
me.
this? Sky, what?
it's Matt.
Huh?
Are you serious? What is this?
All right, should we wrap this up?
Buy the insanity book.
Bye. It's insanity. This was the shortest Matt Cox
Oh, here we go.
podcast
There we
in
go.
Bourbon's
history.
kicking.
Oh, the bourbon's
Oh,
kicking in,
God.
kid.
Oh, we're kicking. Tell you what?
Oh, check. Oh, okay.
Everybody, thank you. Matt Cox's PayPal is mattcox69@gmail.com.
Matt Cox 69.
You can contribute to his hairline. He needs $7,000 for his neck surgery. Even though I think that hairline looks pretty good, it looks pretty solid to
That's
me.
decent.
very decent.
I think it's better than my hairline.
Better
Definitely
than
better than mine. I've never seen a hair out of place on that beautiful head of yours.
That's what 7K gets you, huh?
The
Wrong with
tan
you guys? I know
even
what's
goes
wrong
into
with
the hair.
The two of you. I mean, you guys are. I mean, with all 3 of you guys.
Because normally, like when you get, like you get a really close fade, sometimes it's like white.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like
your
sunburn.
tan goes all the way into your hair.
Yeah. How do you get that tan so perfect?
And like
I
in
don't
your
have a
hair,
tan.
You dye your hair?
your scalp is
I
tan.
don't have a.
So are you 24/7 when you're out in public? Is your hair slicked back like that all the time whenever you go out?
I mean, I don't even know it was slicked back. I just put
very
that.
Tony
Well,
Soprano.
you
Soprano-ish.
clearly
Yeah.
gelled it back.
And you don't
did,
wear a
of
hat
course,
when
I
you
just-
pay for hair.
No,
No,
like
I
that.
don't wear a hat.
I wear a hat because this is like a luxury. It's a, it's just there. Like, but if you pay for it,
Well,
You're
because
still
there's a
young
frame
and you
on.
have all your
Yeah, that
hair.
too. Yeah, I
You have a
have.
thick head of hair. Wait
Yeah.
till
How would you
Yeah,
think his?
thick
How do you
old
grade
hair.
his hairline?
Oh, it's amazing. He could listen.
Your
his is so-
hairline, his hairline is farther back than yours.
Well, he's got a good hairline. He's got a good hairline.
Thank you.
He could use a touch-up.
And how do you think?
A little scruffy.
Do you think he needs a surgery?
Not on the hairline, but maybe on the nose and the teeth. This would be wasted money up here. It's a bad investment.
Gotta wait and see if it starts.
No, but
to
how do
go.
you get the tan? How do you get the tan so easy?
I didn't even
on
think
there?
I'm tan. Am I tan?
No, like he was talking about how the tan perfectly hits the hairline. It even goes past
It
the
goes in.
hairline.
It like blends.
Probably because it's so thin, the sun hits my scalp.
Could be it.
Science.
Science.
Damn.
It's crazy.
the solar flares.
rays.
The UV penetrates the hair transplants and hits the scalp perfectly.
Activates it.
Activates it.
Oh my god.
All right. I think
Yeah.
we've had enough.
Yeah. Well, you got to go.
Well, the game's starting.
Well, we can watch the
Who's
game and
winning?
commentate it. It hasn't even started.
Well, who's gonna win?
The Heat.
Is that who you want to win?
Mm-hmm.
You want the Heat to win?
I only want the Heat to win because I bet him $20 the Heat would win, and I really like Jimmy Jesus.
Jimmy Jesus. Jimmy Buckets?
Jimmy Buckets, aka Jimmy Jesus. They're the underdog, and I think they can come back 3-1 like LeBron did versus the Golden State Warriors in 2016. But I think LeBron's my head's saying LeBron's gonna win. My heart's saying Heat, please win.
Huh. We'll see.
There's some turmoil.
But I'll probably lose $20. But thank God the neuro doctor donated about $500.
Yeah.
Thanks for the chicken fingers tonight, Doc.
Yeah, thanks, Doc.
thanks,
We're
Doc.
eating chicken fingers. It's going to help pay for Matt Cox's dinner.
Thanks
Because
for the
I always
rumpy.
pay for Matt Cox's dinner after the
Ooh.
podcast. Matt Cox, any last words?
Buy a book and
Buy a book.
and sign and subscribe to my channel, Matt Cox, and
Inside True Crime.
Books on Amazon.
Books on Amazon. Danny's gonna put it in the link.
Yep.
Put the
Put
link
the
for
link.
But in the description, fuck, bro, I'm so tired.
Shark in the housing pool.
Oh my God.
Jesus Christ, what a dick.
You know, I know. What a, you know.
Hold it up so they can see it.
You gotta
Shark
sign
in the
my
housing pool.
Just throw a book at him.
He just threw it.
Shark in the housing pool, and it's insanity. And
Boom.
Who just did this?
Buy some shit.
Buy it, motherfuckers.